Hey everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel, An American Professor. In this video, we're going to be discussing for loops, which follows naturally from our video sequence on container types. So in this video, you'll finally learn how to loop through containers and perform actions on the container elements as you go through them one by one, or with a certain stride, as will become clear later on. So first, let's start off with the list L with the elements 1, 2, 4, 8, and 16. So you have a nice doubling pattern going on. And let's go over direct iteration now with the for loop. So the syntax is start off with the for keyword, then a dummy variable item. We could call this anything. I just call it item. Some people just use one letter like I, or that's fine. In keyword. So remember membership operator in the list L, which we defined above, then the colon, and then we use indentation, as I've explained before in Python. I'll have a video explaining this more clearly soon. I reckon it's important to spell out why we must have exact indentation and the conventions for indentation in Python, as there's a tabs versus spaces war that rages on in Python. Let's run this cell. We can see we loop through the list and we print out the string item equals item. So item equals 1, item equals 2, all the way down to item equals 16. It's your first for loop. The next code block, we have the same list, but now instead of just grabbing the actual item, which is each element in the list, we're also going to grab the index. So the index and the item is returned by the enumerate function when we call it on our list L. Let's see what happens with this for loop. Now we're printing the item is this. We're printing item equals whatever the value is and what its index is. Oh, this is bad. Let me fix this up. We'll just do this in video just so you see what's going on here. So we do grab the index and we grab the item from the enumerate function called on our list L. We're printing item equals item, turn this into an F string, has index equals index. This is what I intended to write. Now you get a little feeling for what debugging is like too. So there's a benefit to this video. Let's see, let's run it again, the for loop. So item 1 has index 0. Item 2 has index 1. Yes, this is what I want you to see. So we can simplify the above expression with F strings. Don't make the same mistake. You'll see some debugging in this video. Python debugging. Item has index. Boom. Clean that up real fast. Item 1 has index 0. Item 2 has index 1. That's correct. All the way down to item 16 has index 4. Remember, Python, all indexing starts at index 0. So you go up to n-1 for n list with n items in it. And again, we're using the enumerate function to grab not only the item itself, but also its corresponding index. We can do the same thing with tuples. We can run through tuples and print the item. Item has index here in our nicely formatted F string, which we pass to the print function. Item 1 has index 0 all the way down to item 16 has index 4. So this code pattern can be applied not only to lists, but also tuples. Now let's look at a different use case for the for loop. The for loop, the for keyword can be applied to any iterable. It could be a list, a tuple, it could even be a range object. So range provides a range of integers starting from 0 up to n minus 1. Here we go up to 10 minus 1. That's our n here. So we'll print the numbers from 0 up to and including 9. That's what that code does. We see that out as outputted here and below the cell. A little different pattern for the range object is you can specify a start and an end like we did before. So we'll start at 1 and go up to 10 minus 1. So now we're printing the numbers from 1 to 9. The range constructor can take not only a start and an end, but also a step argument. So now we'll start at 0 and step by 2 all the way up to 9. But since we're going in 2, we'll only be able to reach 8. Lastly, another example for range real quick is we can actually go in reverse, starting at 10 and going to 1 before 0. You need to print numbers in or descending order. This is a useful code pattern. We can also apply our conditional logic we've been learning with for loops. So now we can do a check while we're iterating over a range of numbers. So here we have evens list. We'll restore our even numbers. Let's define a variable named start, started at 0, and stop at 30. And we'll loop over this list of numbers and append evens if I mod 2 is equal to 0. What this check is doing is it's saying if the number in our range is even, so 2 is evenly divisible in the number, that's check to see if it's even, then we'll append that number to our list called evens. And we'll print out the evens below too, so you can see all the numbers that have been added or appended to the list. So we can see 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, up to 28. Don't hit 30 because remember, this goes up to 29. 29 is not even. Another important keyword for loops is the break. So we can break out of a for loop with this. If we have a check or we have the break anywhere, it'll break outside of the for loop. So here we'll only print up to the integer 6, because once I goes back up and it's set equal to 7 and it enters this check, if I is 7, so when I is 7, we break. So we exit the for loop. So you see it's different. We can set this to 8. So we'll break when I becomes 8. And so then 7 will get printed below. So that works. Another interesting thing is we've only been doing single for loops, but you can have as many for loops as you want. Here I'll just show a double for loop. And every for loop beyond the first requires an extra layer of indentation. So we'll go from for I in range 3, so we'll go 0, 1, 2, and then for j in range 3, so another 0, 1, 2. We'll print out those tuples. For every I and j, we'll print out the tuple here with the f string passed to the print function. So we print out every tuple from 0, 0 all the way to 2, 2. Isn't that amazing? Python is so powerful. And you've learned a lot about for loops in this video and the main ways in which they're applied or can be applied. So that's it for this video. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Have a blessed day.